Okay, so we have an announcement concerning the quizzes, the tutorials next week.
You get to see the three of us 3 days on next week because we love you so much. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, regular tutorials will go on. Thursday, there'll be a 2-hour review session going through all your lectures and any questions you have for those lectures.
What time?
4:30 to 6:30. Thank you. The location will be posted online at a later time once we find a booking, basically.
Okay, so in terms of the quizzes, um, you, both classes did very well. The 650 class, just making sure I'm recording this. Yep. Okay, the 650 class got 47.2 out of 5, which works out to be 94.4%, and this class did similarly. So that's a pretty good. If you look at the numbers, the averages are 88 to 98 in terms of different questions. It's interesting to see that the top 27% of the class got all of them right. So in terms of the first one here, most picked the correct answer, but some picked the other answers. So the question, you have a lesion of the right PTO, and which of these is false? That's the important thing. We're looking at false. So a patient with neglect of egocentric form will not be aware of his own left leg. So that's true. If it's with respect to yourself, you're neglecting different parts of your body, and if this is the lesion, the side of the lesion, then the left side will be missing. The next one, it's 3. Pick this one. A patient with neglect of the allocentric form will not be aware of a statue's left leg, and if she's facing from behind or in front, it doesn't matter. It's allocentric. It's with respect to the body. So it's the left side that'll be missing. The E is also something that some students didn't get. A patient with the neglect of the allocentric form will not be aware of the hours from 7 to 10 on his wristwatch, independent of how it's viewed. And that's true because a wristwatch is always sort of object-centered or allocentric, and so you'll be neglecting this left side of it independent of how it's turned. The next question is select one or more answers that are true, and are true in this case is 2 of them, this one and this one, B and F. So some answered that prosopagnosia is a form of neglect. No, it's you just don't see the whole face. It's not just half a face that you don't see, and it's just a lesion of one part of your cortex that is responsible for faces. So that has nothing to do with neglect, which is primarily in the parietal cortex and not the inferior temporal cortex. Let's see. Another one was this C. Prosopagnosia involves a lesion of the parietal cortex. No, it's the inferior temporal lobe. Okay, then we go on to the next question, which almost everyone got right. So then it's question 4. Again, select one or more answers that are true. D and F are the ones that are true. Some people chose A as the true one. The prefrontal association area is located behind the central gyrus. Now, the central gyrus is this thing down the middle of the brain. It separates the frontal lobe from the parietal lobe, and the prefrontal association area would be in the frontal lobe. So that isn't true. Another one that some people chose was this one. A part of PTO is located in the frontal lobe. No, if you remember what this stands for, it's parietal, temporal, occipital, which doesn't include frontal. Okay, so I think, I guess we should cover this last one. Some people chose 3 as the answer. If you do your math correctly, you'll find that on the average 4 synapses separates any 2 neurons. It's like that tweet that you made. How many tweets does it take to get to everyone in the world? And it's 4 tweets. So, any other questions about the quizzes? Any questions about, yes?
So yesterday something came up in the tutorial with the sunflower question from the practice.
What about it?
So basically the left sunflower, there's 2 objects which are not connected in one frame. Because there was an outline of the frame, if you consider it as one picture, some students were considering it as one picture, would it be a right answer if you had a whole flower on the right and no flower on the left for a right PTO lesion? That wasn't an option, but if it was an option, I think that would be a correct answer.
So it wasn't connected at the bottom.
It was not connected, it was 2 different flowers, but the frame, the rectangle, there was a rectangle around both of them together. So some people kind of considered it as one painting.
Yeah, I suppose that if you viewed it that way, it would be, if you viewed it as one painting and there's sort of a frame around the whole thing, that you might neglect just one of them.
I told him I'll bring it up in class with you today. So.
Okay. Yeah, there's different. You can, it always depends how you think it in your mind. So after the midterm, you're most welcome to argue the questions with primarily with your TAs. But if you're not satisfied with what they say, you come to me and we can argue it out. And many times I can agree, and I give you and the whole class a mark, and then next year I make it harder. So So that choice is not possible. Okay, I welcome discussion and criticism. So you know the arrangement then for when the midterm is, and I made it for 10 o'clock, so you don't have to wake up too early, and I don't have to wake up too early. And let's see what else. It's 36 questions, I guess. So a little bit more than 30, and you have 1.5 hours to answer it. Yeah, I wouldn't. I predict it's not going to be too hard once if you've done these quizzes and worked hard. And make sure it's very important. It's very useful to come to the review session to ask questions about things that you're still uncertain about, and maybe there's other questions that the TAs can stump you on. Okay.